Ahead on American Sunrise, Shutdown, Day 2. What exactly is Chuck Schumer's exit strategy? And is there any end in sight? We're going to ask Texas Congressman Randy Weber. He'll be here live. Plus, you're fired. Mass layoffs of federal employees expected to happen any day now due to the shutdown. Plus, what programs could be impacted? We're going to take a closer look. And cleaning up crime. Rav's own Brian Glenn was in Memphis with the Justice Department. There's Pam Bondi there as troops get ready to fix the mess in Memphis. We have those stories and more as American Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning. I am Dr. Gina. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C., and T. Bates is in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Gina.
Dr. Gina and David, good morning. Dr. Gina, I don't know if you have a referee shirt around anywhere, but you might want to go get it because I'm picking a fight with David right now. I'm starting the show off picking a fight with David. Here's the backstory, David. CBS News has this headline which reads, Trump issues executive order declaring any attack on Qatar be treated as a threat to U.S. security. He goes on to write, in the event of such an attack, the United States shall take all lawful and appropriate measures, including diplomatic, economic, and, if necessary, military, to defend the interests of the United States and of the state of Qatar and to restore peace and stability. So that's the backdrop. Here's where we're going to argue, David, because I'm going to say, I told you so. The context of all of this, I believe, is the Israeli attack on, I said on, you said in, we talked semantics, Qatar just a little while ago. And so I'm smiling here because it is semantics. But if you remember, we had a conversation. I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. In fact, President Trump, we're hearing, even asked Benjamin Netanyahu the other day when he was at the White House to call Qatar and to some degree apologize for that attack. What say ye? And I know you've got lots of things on your mind, but I figured I'd at least start with a little bit of dissension within the ranks between us.
Well, let me just be clear. No dissension in the ranks. I agree with you. Of course it was because Israel hit Qatar on, whatever you want to call it. That's definitely the reason. But let's be clear here. Look, I want to say a couple of things. MAGA agenda, thumbs up, right? We know that. That's low-hanging fruit. I've been a big MAGA agenda fan for really ever since the escalator. Okay, but here's the thing, and I may not be good at 10-dimensional geopolitical chess here, but what the heck is going on here? Seriously, I mean, I get it. Qatar is, we have a working relationship with Qatar. I get that geopolitical stuff, but this is a bridge too far. This is a whole other level. I am sorry, but we're going to shed potentially American blood in defense of Qatar? That ain't make America great again. That's not MAGA. This I do not like, Dr. G.
I'll tell you, actually, I think it's me who's going to have the exception with you, David Brody, because I'll tell you why this is MAGA. In my other life as a Republican advisor and strategist, I can tell you that I can see a reason why President Trump might have done this that is very MAGA. There is, especially among the younger base, as you know, a growing sentiment that President Trump is in cahoots with Netanyahu. I'm just going to say it like that. And that we're hearing more and more from the younger generation. You saw what happened. I believe it was at Turning Point earlier in the year, the survey. That generation does not like Netanyahu. And if President Trump comes out and says something like this, it definitely dispels that pretty quickly. How are you going to say President Trump is in cahoots with Netanyahu and that he takes orders from Netanyahu, which is a big, look on Twitter, look on X, I don't have to tell you, this is out there. I don't know how you're going to say that when you had something like this. Also, I think that, Qatar does not want, they have a lot of money. and they do not want these terrorists hiding in their midst. So I imagine maybe, and I don't know anything, this is not me talking about something I know, but I imagine maybe a phone call went out from Qatari leaders saying something along the lines of, we will self-rid of any terrorists. You don't have to worry about terrorists being here. We don't want them here anyway, blowing things up, but we need you to call on Netanyahu to not bomb us again. That's how I think that went down. Just from a strategic standpoint, David, it makes ABC sense to me.
Listen,
all right, we're going to talk more about this, guys.
I got to just respond.
Because this story has lots.
Real quick.
Okay.
That all may be true, Gina, for sure. But a central tenet of MAGA is not to get tangled up in foreign entanglements or foreign affairs, if you will. And this is a great example because in that executive order, he actually says military.
Yeah, it was shocking. I'm not going to take that away. But I'm going to say from a strictly MAGA perspective, I can see how it would maybe not be the worst thing.
Well.
Hey, guys, let's get our Bible verse. I promise we'll talk more about this. We'll talk more about this.
Who knew?
I've got some thoughts, too. All right, Dr. Gina, our Bible verse, please.
All right, it is from Romans 10:13, a New King James Version. For whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Pretty simple. But it also does say later in the Bible, I just want to point this out because I think it's very important. Many will come to me and say, Lord, Lord. And I will say, I never knew you. So it's not about just calling on the name of the Lord. It needs to be spirit-filled when you do it. And if you do, and you mean it, then you will be saved. The government shutdown continues as it enters day 2. The Senate failed once again to pass the clean continuing resolution due to Democrats' concerns over health care. Vice President J.D. Vance had this message for Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of the Schumer shutdown.
Let me make one final point. I think a lot of Americans are asking themselves, why did this happen? Why did the Democrats shut down the government despite, as Caroline said, voting on the exact same piece of legislation 6 months ago? And there are a lot of different spins that we can put on it, a lot of different answers that we could give, all of them true. One answer I already gave is that they want to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. That is true. They gave us legislative text that would have undone us cutting off health care benefits for illegal aliens. That's one of the things that they asked for. But the reality here, and let's be honest about the politics, is that Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge.
For more, let's bring in Texas Congressman Randy Weber. Congressman, interesting. You go out on the street, you survey 100 people. No one even knows this is happening. I mean, this is not something that concerns average Americans. But if people do know about it, they have horrible memories because so often the president, whoever that is, has wanted to make the shutdown hurt badly. And they have done things like, made sure that they put chains across our national parks and been very dramatic about the shutdown. And the interviews or done it around Christmas and this or that. That's not going to happen this time, and the average American probably isn't going to feel it the way they did before because this president isn't dramatic. He's pretty straightforward with people. But the bottom line is this is the Schumer shutdown no matter how you slice it. Congressman.
Well, absolutely, Gina. Thanks for having me on. I chuckled when you guys were talking a little earlier about starting a fight with each other. I'll tell you all didn't know this about me. I used to fight in the ring when I was in high school, and I had to quit because of trouble with my hands. The referee kept stepping on them. Y'all figure that out. But listen, this fight's I've been there since 2013. This is the 4th shutdown now. President Obama, when he shut it down, he chained the gates and stuff like that walk through people should go be able to see the statues and everything they wanted to see. Now comes the Schumer shutdown, and like y'all pointed out, and I appreciate what y'all do so much. Because as y'all pointed out, this is Schumer shutdown. They voted on this. You heard the vice president say, Democrats voted for the same spending bill 6 months ago. Now they're tacking in 1.7 trillion with the T dollars for illegal health care. And they lied about us, Dr. Gina, more than you bargained for. I'm long-winded here. But when we started making those cuts, for Medicaid, we said no illegal aliens and no able-bodied males, 21 and above, should be on Medicaid, and the Democrats lost their mind. This is a continuation of that.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, there's a Hill headline out today, and there's tons of headlines out there about these federal layoffs that are just a day or two away. It could happen any moment. We're waiting for it to happen today. You've got the budget director, obviously, Russ Vought, telling Republicans that they are coming. He said that on this shutdown call. What do you know about that, Congressman? Because you know Russ Vought has been planning for this. When I say planning for this, he knew the Democrats would shut down the government, and he's ready to go with a plan. What do you think?
Well, absolutely, he is. And we have to give President Trump kudos because he's a business guy. He can see this coming. He knows what's at stake. He'll operate through executive orders as much as he can to get as much done as he can. And the people, and I so appreciate y'all pointing out that Chuck Schumer's afraid of a primary opponent, and this is about his political future, not about the American public. I think Russ Vought, who's very good on this stuff, President Trump is too, saw that coming, was making plans to be on top of this from day one. And yet Chuck Schumer still persists, him and Hakeem Jeffries, going out to the cameras and saying this is all about Republicans. And that could be even further from the truth.
All right, so how long do they keep up the charade? How long are Democrats going to ultimately stretch this thing out before we finally get back to a place where we reopen the government and get back to life as it should be?
What was it Yogi Berra said? The problem with predicting is you're dealing with the future, I tell you what, the longest one that I was in 2018 when I was there, in 2018 was 35 days. The shortest one was 3 days in January of 2018. So January 2018 or December 2018, we actually had 2 shutdowns. So we'll see how long they can play this.
May I interrupt real quick? I want to interrupt because, all right, I get it. It's probably not a fair question to predict how long, but it seems to me there's an impasse. Republicans aren't willing to budge on the whole issue of health care for illegals, which is a principled position. And it seems to me that Democrats aren't willing to budge on that. That's what they want to achieve. So it seems that we're at a stalemate and neither side is going to give on that. Am I wrong there?
No, I think you're right. And of course, the sad thing about it is the Democrats are banking because, the midterms are coming up. And historically, the midterms are a problem for I'll just say the Republicans. And so we'll see if they want to play that game that long. They're trying to pander to their base. Thanks to Charlie Kirk, bless his heart and his God rest his soul, because he's a great Christian. Gina, I appreciated your scripture earlier. People can see through this. I hope more and more younger Americans, we talked about them earlier, are seeing through this charade by Schumer. Should we call this Schumer's charade? Hopefully they'll see through this. The midterms will be a little different coming up.
Congressman Weber, always appreciate you. And I just love your drawl. I just have to add that. As somebody that loves the South, I just had to add that. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Dr. Gina. We appreciate what y'all do. Thank y'all.
We appreciate what you do too, sir. Thank you so much.
You're the best. You're the best.
And David Brody, I have to tell you, the chat is lit up with exactly what you were saying. They agree with you 1,000%. They do not want to be messing in another war. I'm just setting the record straight here, David Brody.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going in now.
Yeah. You better get in there. All right. T. Bates is in the RAV newsroom with the latest from the White House with more on the government shutdown. And also later, what does the shutdown mean for the American people? Who will be faced with the impact? We have those answers just ahead. Get in the chat with us over on YouTube, on Getter. We'll see you in there on the commercial. Back in a moment.